on the sort of top level, setting means just, the basic facts of where this is set. It's set on this alien planet in the future. In the science fiction novel, it's set in Chicago in the 20s in this sort of detective story. It's set in Victorian England in this romance novel, whatever, right? Atmosphere is the thing that joins in with the setting, right? This conversation is happening between these two characters in the barn, and there's probably a story reason for that, right? One of them gets angry and tips over the lantern and starts the Chicago fire. And so that's a plot point, right? So we need to have this barn. But what brings that barn to life is really what atmosphere is all about. So it's atmosphere plus setting. It's a barn because that's the next plot point that moves the story forward. What does that barn feel like, right? And then again, hopefully you're thinking of the setting of every scene with some basic questions. Why here? Why in the barn? Why now? Why on that day? Why us? Why these two people, these three people, these 100 people, etc.? This one person. Why are all these things here? Surely there's a reason for that. It moves your story forward in some way. But then it's the mood and expectation, and sometimes the collision of those two things, that brings that setting to life. So if it's just a barn, it's a barn like any other barn. No one really particularly cares. It's just a barn that has to burn down in order to start the Chicago fire. Okay, again, we've done the facts now. We've written the newspaper article on the possible origin of the Chicago fire, but it's not really that interesting to read, right? It's much more interesting to read if they're back in the barn where they first kissed, and now they're having this argument and they're breaking up, and he gets mad and throws the lantern down on the floor as he walks out and doesn't realize that it started the hayloft on fire, and so, right? But there's an emotional reason for them to be there. The place affects the moods of the characters in some way, and that they have some sort of expectation of what it's like to be in there, right?